go ahead and open up pom.xml. And remember, at the very beginning of this course, I told you to comment out this dependency. Now it's time for us to uncomment because we will connect to our database. So I've just uncommented that. And if I try to start my server, you will see that we need to specify the data source URL attribute. So let's go ahead and define that. Close this and open up the application.yaml file. And right here, this is where we will specify the connection properties for our database. So go ahead and simply define a new property called app. And inside, go ahead and say data source. And then inside of data source, simply go ahead and say JDBC and then -URL. And this will be JDBC and then column PostgreSQL and then column / localhost and then column, and then the port will be 5432. Remember, so this is the port that we've exposed with Docker. And then the actual database will be amigos and then code demo. So this name right here is the same as this one. So if I go ahead and list databases, you can see that we have amigos code demo. So let me open up IntelliJ. Next, let's go ahead and define the username. So username, and this will be Postgres. Remember, so this is the user that has root access. We could create our own user, but for now, let's stick to Postgres. So next, let's go ahead and define the pass and then word. The password was password. And finally, we can also define the pool dash and then size. And this is the number of available connections at any given time. Next, let's go ahead and create a new package inside of our main package. And let's go ahead and name this package as data and then source. And then inside of it, let's go ahead and create a new class and simply call it data and then source. Press enter. Now let's go ahead and annotate this class with @ and then configuration. So this will be a configuration class that Spring will instantiate for us. And now let's go ahead and define the data source. So go ahead and say public and then Ikari and then data source, and then simply name it as Ikari data source. And basically this is the data source that Spring Boot recommends for us to use because it's very performant and it's by far, I think, one of the best ones. So now simply go ahead and say return and then data source builder, and then simply say .create and then .type, and the type will be Ikari data source .class and then .build. So right here, you can see that we can pass, for example, the driver class name, password, URL, username. But because we have that inside of our application.yaml, let's go ahead and actually inject that into this class. So to do that, go ahead and say @ and then configuration properties. And then right here, we have to pass a prefix. So the prefix for us will be app, so all lowercase, .data, and then source. So data source, so app data source is this. So app data source, and then it will inject all these properties to this bin right here, or to this builder right here. And finally, let's go ahead and say @ and then bin, and pretty much Spring Boot will instantiate this data source and make it available for us to use it. So now let's actually give it a go. So let's go ahead and try to start the application and see if we've done everything correctly. And we have an error, but it seems that we actually connected, but you can see that cannot find migrations location class path DB migration please add migrations or check your flyaway configuration. So that means that we pretty much connected to our database, but we failed to start the application because we don't have any migrations. And that's what we're going to add next.